For a better experience, please use headphones. 5 short, scary stories. Story number 1. Never look out the window at 3 a.m. A friend of mine was on exchange in my city and shared this story with me. It all started one windy night in his city. The wind knocking on the door was getting louder and louder, and it seemed as if someone wanted to push it, and in his room, he had a window facing the street. It is worth mentioning that the house where he lived was a 2-story house. Suddenly, a noise in the window woke him up. He thought it was some branches of a tree that was right next to the window. But no, when he reacted, it was as if someone was throwing small stones at the house. He thought that maybe it was the wind itself. But anyway, he got up to find out the reason for the noise. When he looked out of the window, still half asleep, he saw a lot of movement due to the wind. But on the other side of the street, there was a person standing, fixed, and looking towards the window of his room. The wind was very strong, but that person did not move at all from where he was. When he told me the story, he said that his legs looked strange, as if he had no shoes, but at the same time, as if he had heels. My friend told me that when he saw him, the first thing he thought was that it was some annoying neighbor, or worse, someone who wanted to rob the house. When he changed and got ready to grab a baseball bat in case something happened, the person in front of the house was gone, just like that. The next day, when he remembered it, he thought it might have been his imagination, but he saw it as so real that at every opportunity he would tell us the story to see if anyone had gone through something similar. Has anyone gone through something similar? Story number 2. I will never sleep at my grandmother's house again. One day I slept over at my grandparents' house because my parents went to dinner with some of their friends. The evening was normal, playing dominoes, cooking with my grandmother, until it got late. It was about 11 o'clock at night, and we went to sleep. Every time I slept at my grandmother's house, I always slept in a room next to the bathroom. I brushed my teeth and went to sleep, until out of nowhere I woke up very thirsty. I went to the kitchen, and the dog, called Oreo, was barking at nothing. I so innocently opened the door to the terrace, thinking he wanted to poop or drink water. While I was waiting for the dog to finish, I saw that the hallway lights had turned on. The hallway lights are those that turn on by movement, and I thought I had woken up my grandparents, so I was going to the hallway to talk to my grandparents that the dog did not stop barking, but there was no one. I closed the kitchen door and went to the bedroom, and as soon as I passed, the door slammed shut. I got scared, opened the door, and ran to my grandparents' room. The next morning, my grandmother had gone to the supermarket, and my grandfather went to the orchard. I stayed in the house. While I was having breakfast watching TV, something fell down in the dining room, and when I went to see what had happened, I saw my great-grandfather's picture on the floor, broken. Story number 3. One time, this guy was sleeping in his bedroom. It's a very dark bedroom, too. There isn't any light coming in, and because of it, he needed to learn how to walk in his bedroom to go do stuff in the middle of the night. This time, he had to do just that, and he knew the way. 4 steps from the bed, 1 step right after touching the table, 3 steps left, and he'll be near the door, enough to find its handle to open it. This time, though, he didn't hit any table after the 4 steps, and thinking that it was just moved because of whatever, continued forward towards his door. But it was then that he hit the table, and he got a bit scared and decided to just go above it. But he hit a wall. When he jumped above it, a wall that wasn't meant to be nowhere near where he was going. He panicked and fell over. He tried going back to his bed, but he didn't find it. He was in complete darkness in a room that didn't have the layout of the room he knew. And so he started screaming and crying, which made his parents come to the bedroom and open the door, flipping the switch and showing that it was all back in place, even though he clearly remembered that nothing was correctly placed when he was shrouded by darkness. Story number 4. No one believes what I saw. One day I was on my couch after a long day of school. After I took a bath, I hear my neighbor screaming like crazy, "Help!" I go to his house. The door was half open when I enter. I am paralyzed. I go blank. I see my neighbor being eaten by a dog. When I run out of my neighbor's house screaming like crazy, I see my neighbor. I tell her what I saw. Then she laughs and says, "It's impossible. The neighbor died 20 years ago." I am left blank because that neighbor came to my house every day to eat. Story number 5. Something like my sister laying next to me. I was in my bed using the laptop, my back to my bedroom door. The door was open and I could see the light from the living room down the hallway. My parents were already asleep, so I wasn't surprised when I heard the room light go out. I turned to see who had turned it off and thought I saw my sister climbing into her bed. She has her bed parallel to mine, less than 2 steps away. So I moved the laptop a little bit away so she could sleep. A few minutes later, I turned to look at my sister's bed, and now she was lying upside down, like with her feet on the pillow and on her side, as if looking in my direction, but with her eyes closed. Even though everything was dark, I saw her white face and nose with the light from the laptop screen. I turned off the laptop and went outside to turn off the light in the living room to go to sleep, and then I found my sister in a chair with the cell phone. I talked to her and she told me that she hadn't gone to bed and that she hadn't turned off my light. In fact, she said she had thought it was weird that I was using the laptop with the light off. And well, I don't know what happened and I don't know what I saw. What's worse is that all that time, I was avoiding making noise because I saw someone sleeping there. Sweet dreams.